introduce Dr. Henry. He's the next speaker. He's live. Of course, actually, we wanted him to be the first speaker, but we are adjusting. So his KRA is tailor-made, working from home. So he's got a lot of HR solutions. He's got really exciting stuff. He's very HR. So his topic is CHRO 4.0 futurist, managing the new norm. Let me tell you about Dr. Henry Yeoh. I know him for many years. So he is the Deputy President of Malaysian Institute of Human Resource Management. Also, he sits in the Global Advisory Board in the Council of the World HR Congress. So if you want to be nominated or win award in HR, he's one of the judges. So be nice to him. So, and also he does some in the universities. He also do HR courses. In fact, if you want to do some certified that has a certificate, right? Henry, you can unmute yourself. You can actually do a HR certified and get from the Malaysian Institute of HRM. Henry, take over. Unmute yourself. Wait. Are you okay?
Yeah. But you must allow me to share my screen, though.
Yes. So let me stop share, and then you can share.
Thank you, Robert. Yeah. Good morning, everyone, and good evening to Bernie, all the way from US. It's a pleasure to have you with us this morning. And for all my familiar faces, with friends, right? So it's good to see you again. Given the very limited time that I have to be able to share my thoughts with you, this is more of a kind of an awareness sharing rather than more of a teaching. So it's basically angled towards individuals in this group here who are managing people. You could be a HR practitioner, or you could be a people manager or leader, right? Or even as a business, right? Some of the thoughts and opinions shared here may be applicable to you as well, and this is something that you may want to take into consideration on how can you do better, right? Especially in the post-COVID recovery. Okay, so my sharing with you will be basically just giving you some an overview how the COVID situation has actually impacted people around the world, and some of the key insights, especially the HR practitioners or the HR leaders or even the people manager leaders probably has to pay a bit more attention to, right? So as we all are now painfully and acutely aware, as long as the COVID situation continue to escalate, the economy will continue to be at peril and to be struggling as well, because there are so many restrictions imposed by both the government as well as by the health authorities. So the industry has been really impacted in many ways, form and manner that is probably beyond the anticipation of many business owners, right? Across industry. So COVID really does not favor anyone. Perhaps the exception is more towards the PPE, personal protection, the glove industry, the pharma. But other than that, it has literally impacted all form and businesses around the world, right? Left, right, and center. One of the biggest fallout from the COVID situation, of course, is the unprecedented attribute or causes relating to high unemployment, right? And even in Malaysia itself, right, various agencies and association are forecasting that the unemployment rate in Malaysia, right, has seen one of the highest numbers in probably in the last decade or so. So, and this is the latest impact on companies. So even though you may have been operating for a long time, it does not guarantee to be immune to the how COVID can impact your business model as well, right? So it's said, right, in Penang, Sony, having been operating for 36 years, right, have made announcement that they will be closing down totally by September of next year. So some of the insights that probably like to share with everyone here is how can we, right, do things that perhaps can generate some value, right, to our stakeholders, and our stakeholders could be both internal and external stakeholders, right? And these are the three key insights I would just like to quickly share, and hopefully some will click with some of you to see are these areas that you probably need to pay attention to even in your own organization. So first off, of course, the need to do a damage control and kind of assessment of your business. How badly has it been affected, right? In terms of your revenue, what's the reduction that you are probably experiencing, and how's your bottom line, your business financial health? Are you still having sufficient cash flow to meet your operating requirements? If you are in the production side, are there any back order fulfillment that that you have not been able to fulfill to your customers' expectation, right? Then of course, for those who are in the services, you probably want to pay some attention to, are you also reaching out to your customers to ensure that your key customers especially have not left you and they are still with you through thick and thin. And last but not least, of course, are your own employees in terms of their safety and mental health. So and this is the news article that came out just a couple of days ago, and they are anticipating or projecting, right, that mental health issue will be one of the 5 major disruptor of productivity in 2021. So so in that regard, right, then you have to probably give more attention to your current employee welfare programs, right? Are employers doing enough? Are you as a people manager, leader, doing sufficient groundwork or preparatory work to cushion this, and so as not to allow it to be a major disruptor, right, to your business and also to your customers. So when they did this survey, many business owners that have been badly impacted by the COVID situation are of the opinion that they need to do some of this in order to survive, and probably, hopefully, that they can get their business back to normal, or be able to sustain their business operation, right? So the top 3, of course, would be the need to change their business model, and this is probably what Faris has been talking about earlier. How can the offline traditional business be able to pivot to an online or e-commerce kind of platform? Then, of course, the credit control has to be tightened because cash, or maintaining a healthy cash flow or an adequate cash flow, especially in challenging times, is actually one of the key success factors for any business to be able to tide through these difficult times. Then when it comes to working from home, right, which I believe many of you may now have been very accustomed to. So these are some of the more relevant questions, especially for those who are managing people, right? If working from home is going to be a new normal, right? What is there a need in your own organization to formulate or to come up with a new protocol, right? How will work from home differ from the traditional work in a physical location like an office, right? So if there are differences, what are the differences? And how can the reconfiguration be done in a manner that has a win-win outcome? Then, of course, as we all have learned over the last probably 8-9 months of working from home, one are likely to observe that there are skills that may not necessarily be inherent in all your employees. Some could probably adapt much easier and faster into a working from home, while others may actually be struggling as well. And finally, you know, I guess in my encounters and my observation is who has actually the final oversight of working from home? Is it HR? Is it the head of department? Is it the business owner? You know, so these are questions that probably need to be better defined moving forward. If working from home is kind of going to be incorporated or be a permanent feature in your workplace. So of course, while working from home may sound pretty cool to many people initially, but reports now are surfacing that working from home do have its side effects, and one of its major side effects is people are reporting, right, to be suffering with health hazards, and probably these are due to the inadequate or not having the right furniture or the equipment to work productively and to work comfortably while working at home. And this article that just came out a couple of days ago, you know, is highlighting there is actually a dark side of working from home because people are actually spending much more time than they would have otherwise need to, right, in the traditional work environment, right? So be it the educators or be it the students or even professional, right? Everyone seems to be encountering or reporting some of these challenges working at home, right? So the third area will be more on performance recalibration, and I guess this is something that employers will need to find the time to be able to do this well, so that their employee engagement as well as their employee motivation is not adversely affected. So, and this is not as straightforward as easy to do straight away. It requires a lot of consultation, a lot of engagement with the right stakeholders, so that a balance between your employee inputs versus the expected outputs can be achieved. Because otherwise, you know, employees who are personally financially impacted by this crisis are likely to leave you for new opportunity. And at this point in time, having a high employee turnover, especially your key talents, may be adverse or be having a negative impact, right, on your business as well as on your customer services as well. So, and that comes to my proposition that in the people leader space, you may want to look at how can you work yourself, right? to be a HR futurist. So the pandemic definitely have taught us that it is actually a very defining moment, right, in an employee's career and life journey, right? And especially if you are managing people, how you respond to them is going to impact them for a long time to come. So the 4 key questions for people leaders, people managers, probably you may want to examine this, right? How has COVID actually impacted your employees, you know, in terms of their well-being at work? And currently, is your organization as well as HR agile and able to suit the new norm of working, right? And if this is going to be integrated into your workflow, right, or even your work culture, will the remote workplace replace physical one, right? And how should organization pivot, and what are the implications of this shift to hybrid working? Is your culture really up to this capability and capacity? And the third question is HR and stakeholders mindset shifting from impossible to possible? And how quick are you able to actually respond, right? And the fourth question is HR, right? Your own HR in your organization really have the skill sets, the know-how to help navigate your stakeholders, you know, through an increasingly digital future, right? And able to have a strong business case to your business owners why investing resources even in very, very difficult time is actually important if their business is to survive. So the HR agenda today is more busier than ever. It is no longer confined to the more operational and the transactional aspects of just managing employees, but the focus and the emphasis is now moving up the scale towards more strategy. And this is where the HR leaders and practitioners are probably tested in terms of their business partnering value, right? Are they able to stand side by side with their other key functional business heads to be able to help drive the business towards better successes in the near future? So coming out of COVID-19, right, and if you are in the HR space, probably you may want to look at some of these key skills, right, in terms of your agility, your resilience, you know, is your learning culture in your organization. Are your people able to unlearn and relearn fast enough to really adapt to the very, very fluid and dynamic kind of changes, right? Then, of course, technology is something that we no longer can discount, but it's becoming more of a necessity rather than a luxury, right? Here again, when you're managing people who are kind of mentally and psychologically impacted by, you know, through social isolation, you know, working from home for a prolonged period of time, you need to ensure that your leaders and managers are also very, very emotionally intelligent to be able to manage expectations, right? And future and nature of work is definitely important because how you partner with your stakeholders to come up with a pragmatic and a functional and cost-effective work blueprint will probably determine is your business going to be successful in the post-COVID recovery phase. And last but not least, of course, ensuring that the mental and emotional health of your people, right? And people not only confined to employees, but also equally applicable to your leaders as well. Are they still having a very positive outlook, or are they falling into a potential depressive kind of situation, right? So you need to really improve or increase your surveillance and your vigilance, and as well as your observation of your people behavior, either off work or in the workplace itself. So ultimately, from lockdown to unlock, right? This pandemic has actually thrown us really serious staffing challenges, right? And this is where HR leaders who are better aware and better equipped would be able to come up or emerge much more successfully compared to others who are still trying to catch up. So at the end of the day, right, as what Zig Ziglar says, you don't have to be great to start, but you have to start and to be great. And there's no so-called right time or perfect time, right? Any time is a good time. So you just need to have the courage to be able to do something positive for your organization, seize the day, and adapt now to prepare your organization for the post-COVID-19 reality. All right. So thank you for the time, and I hope to if you have any question, let me know, and I'm sure Robert will be happy to facilitate this.
Yes, so Henry, give him some love, give him some reaction, give him some positive energy. So Henry was wonderful. He will come back for the Q&A because right now you can still type and we will compile it. The team will compile it and you will compile it and you will choose your best questions. In fact, let me just share my screen again, and then Henry can just cover what your expertise is. So here you've written here, future-proofing people, business. These are master tools by you. So is there anything you want to add here for the 4 things, the CHRO 4 futurists, work from home, perspectives, and culture change? Anything you want to add?
I think these 4 areas are already quite a handful, and because it is not, how should I say, something that can be very direct and very straightforward. It needs a lot of contemplation, a lot of reflection and understanding to approach this correctly, because any wrong move can have very serious repercussion. And at this point in time, business owners may not be too forgiving on mistakes, especially from their HR and their decision and their policies, their implementation can affect the people confidence in terms of their leadership in organization, right? So
yeah, so if you need to, because Dr. Henry is the best in the industry, in not just Hong Kong, in Asia, in the world. So you want him to give you his expertise. He has helped many companies turn around in HR terms. So this is the new 4.0 to future-proof your business in terms of HR. So thank you, Henry. We'll come back to you in Q&A.
right, thank you, Robert. All right.
All right. Let me introduce the next speaker is Steve Chan. Steve Chan is actually a good friend of mine. Awesome. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. 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 Make you the host. Hold on. Hold on. My team is. Hold on. My co-host is. Oh, okay. So make you the host. Thank you. Okay, so I made my team a host. So so let me introduce Steve Chen. He's actually he was the head of learning in Tesco Berjaya Group, Naga World. In fact, there are some two subordinates that used to work with him in our group right now. There's also Naim, which they're in Kuching, and Copton Hotel and Inti. So his topic is leading breakthrough changes, buy-in, and a sense of urgency. And he will play some games with you. So let's put on to Steve, team. So yeah, we are teeing it up now.